Hello everyone, this is Dwayne Golden, and I'm excited to kick off some bites over the next few days for you to give you a proper perspective. As you look to build your business, my goal is to help each of you to have a culture change and a better understanding of what you're doing. I think it's enough that everyone stops being drones who walk around not really knowing what they're doing or what they're into and just become a professional sign-up artist. And so you have a lot more money this way, right? And you will actually make more, but you'll spend more. Spend less rather. So it's just follow with me along. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about the myths of decentralization. And I'm going to do so because of what I see. I see that many are not only deceived themselves, but they don't pay attention. And they know just enough to be dangerous, but they don't really dig deep enough. So I want to help you so you could be 100% successful while you're here with us at Ingreso Cybernetico. Or maybe you're leaving, you're going to go somewhere else. I want you to make sure that you can at least be successful no matter where you are. So walk with me, if you will. If you take a look at my screen, you'll see we're going to talk about the myths of decentralization. And I'm only going to talk about 3 today. It's just, like I said, it's a sound bite, but I don't want you to miss this. If you're on YouTube and watching this, congrats. I want you to be able to watch it and follow along. What's most important to me is that you get the principles and apply them, regardless of your color, whether you're male or female, or whether you're tall or short. The principles work for you, whether you are in any category. So let's take a look. Myth number one. Myth number one is one where I consider the privacy diversion. You know, people tell you the reason you want to join up with me in crypto because you get to be anonymous. And so if you're anonymous, you're going to really make a lot of money. Nobody has to know who you are, right? As if that's a real big issue. And so let me touch on that one a little bit. There's no problem with making a lot of money, people knowing who you are, period. People say, well, I don't want to get a wallet over here or over there. If you're making $10,000 to $20,000 a year, you're no threat to the government or anybody else. Make your money. Do not be foolish. This is almost as foolish as the people who determine they won't take a $3,000 a month job because they'll lose $600 of their Social Security, welfare, or another system. It's easy deception, and you don't have to fall into it. So trust me, if you are spending more time on privacy than you are making money, you got real issues. Because if you make enough money, you're not going to care about the privacy anyway. But it's actually something to divert your attention. So when someone uses the fact that you could be anonymous, you have to start asking yourself, what am I hiding from? Okay? So now, if you're making a few $1 million, you want to be strategic so that you don't overpay your taxes. You want to pay your taxes to be responsible no matter what country you live in. But you don't want to overdo it and get beat, so you want to be strategic and use professionals. That makes sense. But if you're being told today to get started with Bitcoin or smart contracts or anything because you have all this anonymity, you don't need anonymity. The other thing around privacy is that many won't tell you that if you're the one that's hurting and needs to sign up, no one's trying to rip you off. If you can barely pay for your car or your electric bill, no one needs to rip you off. You're the one that's hurting. So it doesn't mean that someone won't occasionally steal your identity and all those things. But if you're going to do business, get into business and understand that there are risks and go for it. Go for it. Don't spend time being safe, playing not to lose, because you'll end up losing anyway. That's a free one, okay? Oh, Lord. So the privacy diversion. Don't get caught up in the privacy. See, there's something else around privacy that some will often tell you. Many will tell you that this way, the company won't know who you are. Now, whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, for me, I don't want to be so private that when someone shortchanged me in some money, of course, they're never going to know who I am. I can't go to them because I know the new motto now. Everyone's a number. You don't even have a name in a lot of the new companies starting. You're just a number. And because you're a number, you relieve the company of a lot of responsibility. You couldn't even take them to court, Mr. or Mrs. Number, and win. You're nothing more than a number. It's not you. You're anonymous and so are they. You're not being smart people. So many of you think that maybe it's old-fashioned. Whatever you think, at the end of the day, it's about what you're able to produce in 12 months. Many of you have to join 10 anonymous programs a year to barely make it above the poverty range. It doesn't make sense to me. You can actually go all in, and make a break for it without trying to over privatize yourself so much that you get tricked and diverted into losing. The privacy diversion. The next one, the protection diversion. We're being taught, well, this is just it. Decentralization protects me. And it's true in many ways. But here's where it's untrue. You actually are open season. You have zero protection. If in fact you join a company that says there is no company, there's nobody, right? You're just in the system. And you can hold no one accountable if you're shortchanged or something goes wrong. I know that's a great, sexy selling point, but you cannot fall for this one. And many of you are and have and do. Let me help you out. It's a foolish mistake. Because when it comes to home business, the one thing you have on your side, if in fact you can deal with a company that's going to be long-term and are there for you, you need to be able to hold them accountable for your account, for your revenue, for accuracy, right? To make sure it's functioning properly. So when we do the protection model, we really get to be real safe now because you're a number and nobody knows who the company is. We don't even have to have support. Don't have to support you. Don't have to do anything. If there's a problem, just your SOL, right? You're crap out of luck. Well, I'm a big believer that you can overprotect yourself so much that you have no protection. And that's a big myth. That's a diversion within the entire... Decentralization is a great thing. In the areas of decentralization, there must be, I believe, a true responsibility to what degree we will decentralize. I don't believe you need to have big brother, right? Uncle government managing everything. So what? That's normal. But when you overdo it and you have no accountability, you just open yourself up for the greatest amount of fraud and deception of your lifetime. And that's unnecessary. So the protection diversion, right? The protection diversion. Now, I'm going to go a little further and say there's another one. I told you it's going to be just sound bites. The last one is the personal deception, where you deceive yourself. Where you tell yourself, I really want to get involved with one of these because I'm anonymous. And if I'm anonymous, it means I can avoid. I figure I want to get a account for my cryptocurrency, but I need it to be one that doesn't track anything, which is good. Blockchain's a good one. But if you're afraid to cash in your money because the government might look for you because you cashed in $4,000, you don't really get it. When you're in the range where that makes sense, then of course. But for a lot of you, you've never even made $10,000 in 1 year in cryptocurrency, and the most important thing to you is your protection. Is that you are personally deceiving yourself because you don't know that you're a non-threat. While you're a non-threat, make as much as you can, cash it in. Otherwise, go to the black market and cash in. It's going to cost you 15 to 20%. You can find someone at local Bitcoins or somewhere in Asia, and they'll gladly do it. They'll charge you 15 or 20%, and they'll wire the money to you. Now you're anonymous. No one knew who you were, and now you're all set. But you just gave away extra money. In many cases, can get ripped off. The person you sent it to won't ever give it to you. So you can personally deceive yourself in a way that messes you up. So here's the deal. Right now, we have several significant historical events in the cryptocurrency market. And many of you are so caught up in these areas of decentralization, your lack of understanding about it, that you're making decisions that will cripple your success and your income. And what are you doing? All you know is that Bitcoin went up today, and you're going to make a decision, like try and move it because it went up. Or Bitcoin went down, and now you're worried. Oh, what did I do? Maybe I can try and move. I'll try to move it over into another currency and see if you're making all these short-term decisions and not understanding the global picture of this. With the significant historical events that have taken place as of May 11th, with the halving, right, where that affects the value of cryptocurrency, affects the fees. So what do? Through your own personal diversion, you have not taken the time to look up what that means. What is this halving? What's that whole concept? But the other thing is, on July 22nd, where the North American banks are now approved to be custodians of cryptocurrency. So the next few months, they'll be working on making sure that we no longer have to only use Coinbase and the others, Uphold and others who allow you to get it to your bank account. You can go directly to your banks. Now, I don't recommend this for those of you who are doing high volume cryptocurrency, but for those people that make $5,000 to $10,000 a year in crypto, it's not going to hurt you at all. Do it if that's your thing. But those two incidences alone are why crypto is taking its hike up. And just 3 days ago, in the state of New York, where they have the BIT license, they now have a green list of specific currencies for custody. These things are essential. They're vital into the projected growth of cryptocurrency. Yes, there are those that will say it'll be over 250,000 over the next 2 years. There are some that say that by the end of this year, it'll be at a minimum of 30,000. Fine. All the more reason not to make a decision based on what it's at today. If it goes up to 20,000 tomorrow, some will panic. They'll make all kinds of horrific moves and panic. Some, if it goes down to 7,000 tonight, they would be in the same panic, not knowing that when you get to a point where you make decisions based on what you want and based on long-term instead of short-term, you're always going to have a greater outcome. Or should say, more times than not. Anyway, I wanted to make sure you have a better glimpse of things. And I want to tell you that, yes, there are those that are panicking because you're involved with smart contracts. And you may have noticed the increased crazy rates over the past few days. And now that many don't know that it happens at least once or twice a month. And so the gas fees in many cases can cost, or a projected cost will be equivalent to that of your of a lower product. You know, it could be 5 times that cost of the product that you're actually buying. So you panic, and you have to understand, when you're involved with the turn of a century where things are just new. This happened with the internet. This happened with cruise control in cars. When new things are introduced, there are adjustments that have to be made. So gas fees, don't lose your shirt over. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. It's temporary. It is what we call it in the medical field. We call it transient. So I don't know. For some reason, I get chest pains every time I do that. They say, keep going. It will eventually go away, right? Your body will compensate. That's just initially. You have to get over that adjustment. So this is a transient thing. You may notice that Bitcoin fees have gone up and down, right? Not to the same rate as Ethereum, but what that means for you is that you can benefit. You can benefit if you sit still and pay close attention to what it means to be a long-term cryptocurrency entrepreneur. So don't be fooled. Decentralization is a fantastic thing. And in the arena where things were decentralized, such as photography and cameras, we now have learned through Samsung and Apple the difference it's made. Every area, most areas in the world have been decentralized. Currency is one of the last ones. And as it happens, there will be adjustments, but don't you panic. Also, don't be fooled. You want to make sure that you can be held accountable for your actions. And you want to make sure you can hold a company accountable. If you're bragging that you don't know who the company is, you're really foolish. And if you're bragging that they don't know who you are, you're even more foolish. Get over all that whole thing of feeling like you're in something new. Find out what it's really about and be a knowledgeable entrepreneur who is paving the way for a brighter future, better quality of life for you and your loved ones. This is Dwayne Golden. God bless you guys. Take care.